War field stabilized. Wanna turn up the heat? We gotta move.
10 seconds. What is up, everyone? Welcome to State of the Game for February 21st, 2013. My name is JP McDaniel. Today on the show, we've got CatZ, we've got Artosis, and we've got QXE joining a little bit late. What's going on, guys? Dan, the other day on Reddit, I don't know if this was promotion from you guys or whether it was just a disgruntled fan. What's going on with Sons of Starcraft? Is that still a thing?
I'm like, no, it's over.
It's over?
Happening.
What happened?
It's a scam. No, it's got like a bunch of editors working on it and stuff. I mean, I've said it before. I think it's coming out in like March or April, but I don't know. I don't really check into that because I'm not making it. So
yeah.
But basically, I guess what they're doing is going through all the footage. This is like, out of every documentary made about esports, this definitely has the most footage. He's followed us since like
for 2 years,
BlizzCon 2010 or something. Like, there is so much footage of us everywhere that it's like, I guess it's a pretty ominous task to put that all together. But it's being worked on every day. So I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
What else has been going on in your life, Dan? What have you been doing the past week?
Playing Heart of the Swarm and going to the gym. That's it. That's all I do. I go with Caldor. I'm going to be a rip nerd.
Are you still going to yoga? Is that still a thing?
Yeah. We're actually downgrading ourselves a little bit. Because we've been doing 2 days yoga, but we're so bad that we're gonna do 1 day yoga and 1 day of this stretching class, which is like pre-yoga.
What?
Because we're that unbendable. So.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get more yoga updates next week, and maybe I'll make it a constant thing. We'll do a Sons of Starcraft watch, where I just ask you each week when it's coming out. How do you feel about that?
And I just repeat every time. I'm like, well, I don't know because I'm not the one making it.
I thought you were going to ask him about you were going to do a yoga watch.
We could do it. Maybe it becomes.
Are you any more bendable? I'm like, I don't know.
It's
really.
like, Dan, quick, stretch for us on camera. Pull your leg behind your head. We'll do something. We'll do something like that. QXE, what's going on? Welcome back to the show. You weren't here last week, and I'm pretty sure we just destroyed Terran and Heart of the Swarm. So
that seems likely.
Yeah, I think this week that's going to be your thing. Is you either have to pick a side, man. The line's been drawn.
And that sounds stupid.
It's not pretty because people are going to be really upset.
Are mostly like not a thing that's actually reasonable to do.
Well, we'll get to the Heart of the Swarm stuff here towards the end of the show. CatZ, welcome to the show. First off, congrats on the win for your team Root against FXO Korea. You guys moving into the IPTL Premier Division. So how was that? What was that win like? And what does that actually mean for the team?
It was really exciting. It was also like such a sick clan war. Like, I don't know if you watched the games, but they were so close, each one of them. Just amazing games. So I watched every one of them. It was just like really, really cool beating FXO Korea, and it means a lot to the team. We're the first team to make it from the amateur division to the premier division. So we're pretty happy about that. And obviously, I would say it's the most respectable team league outside of Korea right now. So yeah, we're just really happy about that. It means a lot.
Do you guys know when you start playing, like when the Premier Division starts? I thought that was already an ongoing tournament, is it not? I don't know the IPL structure is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to look up on Wikipedia as well. But basically what they're doing is they finish this season, the Premier Division, which they're in the semifinals off. And then the finals are at IPL 6. So next season we're in the Premier Division.
Oh, okay. All right, so that's how that works. Well, I guess good luck when you guys do start playing the matches there in the Premier Division. But let's go ahead and move on to some news. In the show notes, I have the balance changes from Davey as part of the news, but I think I might just save that for the Heart of the Swarm discussion and move right on to I guess the latest news that came out today, IGN was hit with some major layoffs, apparently, along with 1UP, GameSpy, and EGO shutting down. Really not the biggest impact on esports. You guys are probably wondering why I'm bringing this up. But in the kind of press release that came out with it, there was Vivek Shah, who I think is one of the Ziff Davis, I don't know her actual title, but one of the overseeing companies, said that IGN's role going forward will be to broadcast and cover a variety of esports events, and that IPL is being fished around according to this person. So I want to know what you guys think about this. This is something kind of in the rumor mill that I've been hearing for a couple months now, that a lot of people are, that IPL is being fished around to a lot of different companies. I haven't heard any names of who could possibly be buying them or even considering buying them, but as the tournament stands right now, how do you guys, what do you think about the news? We'll start with Dan first.
Well, the thing is, I never really went to any of these sites, and I'm only into esports, so it doesn't. I don't really know what to think because I just heard it from you. So, I mean, it's too bad that any gaming sites get turned off.
No. I'm asking like about IPL being fished around. Is that?
Well, that's. I'm not too surprised. I mean, does IPL look like it's making a boatload of money? No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. It's. But I think that's a lot of esports organizations. So, for IGN to look at it and say, "Oh, this might not make us the return that we're looking for our board members or whatever," I'm not surprised to see something like that. I think IPL is something that definitely can make a lot of money over time, but I don't think it's like a huge deal because whoever buys it obviously wants to do esports, and I don't know how much that'll really affect, IPL overall.
Yeah, I feel like. I don't know if it was such a hot commodity, it would have been sold, or at least someone would have purchased it by now. Maybe they were just waiting on the IGN layoffs and everything else to start happening before they could really make a change like this. I'm not too sure.
I don't know. I don't know about that. It has to be really expensive, right? They have like a nice office, and then you have all these salaries that you're going to have to pay, and events are obviously really expensive. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I don't think that like IPL is going to end or anything like that. I think it's still going to go on and still be a good organization. So,
CatZ, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Like David Ting was vice president of engineering. Like I think there was like 5 vice presidents or something like that at IGN. So it was a pretty big project, IPL. I don't know if it's that big of a money dump because they run so many streams and whatnot. They have sponsors for the events, and also, like for example, the events at Vegas, they bring a decent amount of business to the Cosmopolitan, to where I don't think it's that expensive probably to host the events. So as much as I don't think that they're making a buttload of money, I don't think they're like too deep in the red to just go away. I think that it's a really cool project and that it should stick around.
There were some tweets from Kevin Naki. The first one was pretty PR-y, pretty standard. Rest assured, we're all still here. We still have a stream tonight. The second one was a little bit, maybe this is obviously me reading into it, but he tweets, "We'll have more information on the situation as soon as we can." So I don't know if it was just a bad wording by him, but situation makes it seem a little bit more dire than I think people would look at this situation and think in the first place. I don't know. Calling it a situation is something that it's internally maybe there are some issues that we're not really privy to. I don't know.
Of course. It's not like there has to be, because you're not going to have like an article that fully discloses every single thing going on. If they're selling off pieces of their video game sections, then, or closing some of them down, and then putting others up for sale, there's obviously like, they have to be looking at a lot of ways to cut costs and such. Because what if it takes 5-6 months for someone to buy IPL? Are they going to keep footing that bill when they already know that this is an organization that they are trying to sell? Or are they going to cut costs as much as possible, make it still look good, but as cheaply as possible? So, of course, I mean, it has to be a situation when you think of it like this.
That's true. That's true.
That's a good point, yeah.
QXE, you have any thoughts on the matter?
Pretty much what people have said. Like, It's not a problem if IPL gets bought soon, but it could definitely start to become a problem if for whatever reason it's not purchased soon. And so we can just hope for the best, I guess.
The other kind of, I guess, other side of this is that with IGN announcing that they're going to start covering esports as a whole and focusing on more than just their own league, I guess that means that Slasher is going to have a competitor over there at GameSpot. So maybe some more jobs opening up now in esports. We'll have some more people getting hired, hopefully. I don't think that they're just going to get like their standard news writers to cover esports and cover the scene, but we'll just have to see it and wait some more, see what happens really coming out from IGN. Kind of looking at the journo landscape, a name really doesn't come to mind outside of Slasher for who they could potentially hire to run something that big and that grandiose, especially if they're one to cover like all the leagues. What is there a name that sticks out to you guys?
Like DJ Weed or something, but I know he does other stuff.
Yeah, I mean he's more of a caster than I would think.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I don't really know how many people follow absolutely everything and know everything that's going on with the different games. I'm sure there's people out there, but I don't know who they are.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's a perfect answer. I mean, Slasher is in public eye, but that doesn't mean that there's people that don't do it anyways, just for funsies, or that have a degree in English and they can do just fine.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if there's any more news coming out from the whole IGN world. I think that, I mean, it seemed today that we'll maybe have an update here fairly soon from what Kevin was tweeting. So keep your eyes out for that. This story only hit 4 or 5 hours ago, so pretty recent. But moving right along, that's actually all the news of the week. There wasn't really anything else to come out. There's like nothing going on in the scene right now. It is quite stagnant aside from Heart of the Swarm and all the balance changes that are coming out for that. So let's move on and discuss the tournaments and more so talk about how Dan once again has cursed some players. Dan.
This is so silly because anyone who is actually good at Starcraft and knows what's going on looks at how Innovation plays and says he beats Symbol, right? So, I mean,
I would, yeah.
Parting takes out Life and like wins a ton of tournaments. I'm like, yeah, I think he can definitely take out his opponent here, and then he does lose to someone who has never even been in round of 8, has always fallen down. So, I mean, my guesses are intelligent. I think most people would have done them. It's just a lot of upsets, man. I don't know. Everyone is like, I don't know who's playing which game and how much. I guess all the CatZ guys have to be playing a ton of Wings still, but it's been wild. But it has been like insanely good games. So I mean, I don't really care if I've apparently cursed things. I'm gonna have to get EG to make me an anti-Artosis curse video or something.
Yeah, you're gonna need it. CatZ or QXE, did you guys happen to catch the games last night?
No.
Sick. CatZ?
I didn't either, but I do have an opinion on it.
They were really good. Really good games.
I haven't really been watching any Wings of Liberty since I made a full transition to Heart of the Swarm.
That's a good point.
Like yeah, me neither. That's the same thing. But I've watched enough Symbol and Innovation. Well, I watch Pro League because I have a betting pool going on. So I watch Innovations in my fantasy team or whatever. So yeah, watching him play and watching Symbol play, I would have thought Innovation takes it for sure. And then Curious versus Parting, I don't think it's too surprising. Maybe the 3-0 result is, but the fact that Parting is so easy to study because he's all over the place and Curious isn't, I think actually gives Curious an edge.
Yeah. Curious played the best games of his life, basically. He played really... Like, he looked like himself in the early game, and then he looked like Symbol in the late game, which is like a pretty damn perfect ZVP. So, it was good. It was good.
What was Parting trying to do in those games, Dan? Because, I mean, I didn't
No, he wasn't like immortal pushing or anything. Like,
yeah.
He was doing... I mean, pretty standard good builds and stuff. Like, Curious threw him off twice by going like 10 pull after Overlord, and like one game he made 6 lings, and the other game he made only 2. So like Parting was having to do things like full wall in before Nexus, which screwed him up, and he was trying to transition out, but Curious had it mapped out and went mute as a bunch and just perfect mute to play. Like, last night's games are worth watching, even if you don't watch Wings Liberty anymore. It was sick.
And then the innovation symbol game 3-2, was it as close as the numbers kind of would reflect, or?
Yeah, I mean, there was some. The games were really good. It didn't feel like it was a super close 3-2 or anything. The last game was actually kind of down to the wire. Like, Innovation definitely could have won. Symbol barely overcame him at the end. So, again, those were sick matches last night, and they're going to be really good tonight too.
Well, last week, I believe we got Moonglade and who was it? Doa? Was that who was on last week? Yeah. So we got their impressions for the other two quarterfinals. So Sulky versus Tasia and Roro versus MC. But CatZ and QXE, love to get Jill's thoughts on it for each of the matches. Who do you think will end up taking them tonight?
Tasia.
You think Tasia will be Roro?
No, Tasia versus Sulky, Roro versus MC.
Tasia.
Oh, you think Tasia will beat Sulky? Yeah.
I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I don't know. I put Tasia on my fantasy team last week, and I don't know. I watched the games, and it didn't go too well. Sulky has been on my fantasy team as well, so he's been doing really good. I think Sulky will take it pretty easy against Tasia. Like, Tasia didn't even get fielded out this week for EGTL. I'm guessing because of this match. But last week, his performance wasn't just up to par to what he normally shows. And the other matchup is
Roro
MC versus Roro.
Yeah.
That's a tough call. I don't know. Roro is like the best player in Pro League right now and win rates this wave. And then MC is MC, so I think MC could come up with something crazy and and win. I would think that Roro is the better all-round player right now, but I think that MC is just better at preparing. So,
CatZ, if I were to say to you 4 Zergs in the semifinals of the final Wings of Liberty GSL Code S, what would you say?
Standard.
I would say I would say it's possible, for sure.
What? I don't even know if I'd want to watch the semifinals and the finals at that point.
No, come on, listen. The 4 Zerg group we had last season was the best group.
What?
It was actually Did
you
see
you just liked it because it was like a 30-minute day to cast and you got to go home and play Storm. Don't lie to me,
games were
Dan.
10 pools.
Don't lie to me, Dan.
It was the best group, actually. It was so sick last season. So even if it's all Zergs in the top 4, I mean, our views will fall off. Not as many people.
Yeah, certainly.
I mean, these Zergs are going to give like insanely good ZVZ matches if that happens, which it definitely could. Although I could see MC coming out. Like, I think I'm just going to stop trying to predict MC matches because, like,
you can't.
If you doubt him too much, he wins no matter what. But if you think he's going to win, sometimes he gets slammed, and it's like, you can't predict.
It's really weird.
Yeah, he's the most unpredictable player, man.
Him and Nesty, I guess, now these days.
Yeah.
It's like either they show up and they beast everything, or they show up and it's like, what the fuck? Who's that?
Yeah, kind of.
CatZ for Symbol versus Curious. Do you have a pick?
Curious, I guess. I haven't.
Symbol's
like
predictable ZVZ right now.
You're splitting the what?
I agree with that.
Sorry, I was looking at the schedule of
That's
that. Dan, you guys split these matches into 2 different days, man. You guys are stretching this content out.
I know. I guess we're assholes.
God damn you assholes! Whatever. Do you have a pick for that, Dan? Who do you feel like cursing? Symbol or Curious?
I think Curious wins that.
Yeah.
Symbol always plays like late gas type of play, and like everyone has shown that they know how to play against that. So I don't know though, because Symbol showed a lot of new stuff against Innovation that he doesn't do as well as what he showed, or normally doesn't. I mean, it could go either way, but I think Sulky's actually just going to take the whole tournament down from here. His ZVZ is too good.
Yeah,
he's insanely good ZVZ. So.
Well, the other 2 quarterfinals are going to be going on, what time is it? 5 hours from now, I think? 4.5, something like that?
Yeah.
So gomtv.net, twitch.tv/gom. I think it's gomtv on there as well. You can watch those if you're still awake for that. What's so funny, Dan?
I tasted this last night. Said TwitchTV.net. It was like really funny. He's like, oh, so he said something about GoneTV.net, and he's like, oh, I guess we're on TwitchTV.net now too. And I'm like, that's so funny.
Oh God. Did you call him on it? He probably just think that's like.
Well, he just started laughing immediately because he knew that it was Twitch.tv and not TwitchTV.net.
I was gonna say he probably thinks it's actually Twitch.tv.net or some shit like that. Well, let's talk about CatZ for just a little bit. We had Stefano eliminated. Is he out of CatZ? Does he come back since he came from CatZ?
He's going to be in up and downs, and he's going to be in CatZ again if he fails in up and downs. So he's fine. Unless he happens to forfeit his spot because he's like at a tournament or something, he's fine. He's still around.
And the other big news come out of here was that Flash versus Rain is going to happen in the round of 24. I don't know when that match is played, though. Let's scroll down. They probably have the schedule.
Flash versus Rain is Tuesday, I want to say.
It is not updated. Maybe
I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday.
There's too many matches, man. I can't keep track.
There's
of
a lot
shit.
of matches.
Yeah, a lot of matches.
There's a lot of
going
good
on.
matches too, but like, I'm kind of with these guys. I've toned way down on watching Wings of Liberty, man. I'm all about this whole swarm thing in the heart of it.
God damn.
Can we talk about Heart of the Swarm yet, JP?
1 second. We'll take. There's something like how much when we come into Heart of the Swarm and GSL switches over. Is CatZ and CatS just going to be like flipped on its back with what type of players are going to stay in there and who's going to be eliminated?
Well, the funny thing is that like whoever wins, like CatS, like normally has a hard time staying in anyways. But that's the people in the finals are going to be the people that played Wings of Liberty the longest and have the least practice in Heart of the Swarm. So they are fucked, man. Like. I say do what Parting did. Get into the round of 8 so you're in CatS the next time and then just bomb out and practice Heart of the Storm like a madman.
Do you think that mechanics alone will be able to carry you in Heart of the Swarm for the first CatS?
No.
I mean,
everything.
How long do they have, though?
Well, I don't know, actually. We haven't released the exact schedule when the next is starting. So they might actually just have a lot of time. I guess I was thinking that we'd start right up like last year, but I don't think we've released our schedule yet.
Some of these players are at least going to MLG, so some of them don't have that quick. But for CatS, I don't know. You guys got to at least give them like 2 or 3 weeks, right?
I don't know, man. Sometimes we don't do that.
Yeah, even if it was 2 or 3 weeks, I wouldn't say that's enough. Because as it is, I don't think anyone's quite figured how Heart of the Storm should work. So having a few extra weeks should help out a lot.
I think 1 or 2 weeks is enough to catch up to people, though, to give them a fair chance.
Yeah.
Because
if we started right after, they'd be totally dead. But
I think you can understand the game like at a basic level, but I don't think you'll be making your own strategies in 2 weeks and being like, oh, like I just found this shit that's so sick, you know? It's
sure,
like,
but
most Korean players make their own strategies, so I guess they're safe.
They live in a house. Like you'd be like, hey, I need 3 build orders in PvT, and you just go talk to the guy who's been playing Heart of the Swarm for the last month and a half or whatever. Yeah. You steal his build orders and you figure out timings and stuff. Like I don't think it's as significant.
Needs to react to anything. Yeah. Knowing your Terran, you're fine.
So
safe.
I think it's just going to matter when we actually start the season how quick it is. Because I have to agree with QXC. After a few weeks, you're going to be caught up enough that you might just kill your opponent.
Well, one last bit of news, which I'm sure you guys, obviously all of you watched this. The CSL had its finals over the past weekend for the Collegiate Star League, the Azubu Collegiate Championships, I guess is what you can call them. And we had Berkeley actually taking out the Korean College Chunam there, I guess is how you pronounce that. Suppi came through in the final match, 4-3 win. It's pretty awesome to see Suppi kind of have this type of reaction. I don't know if you guys can see this on Skype, but I think if you're watching the stream, you'll be able to see it here in a sec. So pretty great to see that type of enthusiasm and things like that. Stream, I think, went well. Tournament was well received, so it was a pretty good event for a tournament that I think without Azubu is probably going to probably not have as many eyes on it as it did this past weekend. So congrats to Berkeley for winning. Let's talk about Heart of the Swarm, because I know that's what everyone wants to do and everyone wants to hear.